Many years back, I met a great friend of mine. We go a long way together. We invest in tech and talk a great deal about modern day innovations and their social impact. While speaking to him about a new digital platform I was creating, he said, "But what about my aunt from Azerbaijan?" I was perplexed and inquired about that aunt I had never seen or heard of before. He said, "I don't have such an aunt, but most people there and anywhere else in the world are simple and do not need complex solutions." That got me thinking and sent me straight back to the drawing board with a fundamental question as to what do we even need in a solution to a problem after all. The answer to this question was not complex at all. It existed right around us in the way we've lived our lives for thousands of years, which is simple, accessible, forward-looking, and more importantly, frugal. So then what is frugal? It is something of an idea or a solution which is economical in nature with respect to money or food. There are many examples of frugal innovations in recent past, but the one which takes the cake, and my personal favorite, is the one by Stanford bioengineers. They developed a human-powered blood centrifuge, which had a rotational capacity of 125,000 rotations a minute. It could separate blood plasma from blood cells within 1.5 minutes. So, no electricity needed. A solution like this has the potential of reaching out to millions of people in remote parts of Africa and Asia and anywhere else in the world. And cost of such a test could be as low as $20. My next example is from Africa, from a small country called Rwanda, where innovators took the existing drone technology and added an element of frugality around it. They created a drone which could be launched with a catapult. It could fly and land on a simple mattress. And a solution around this thing was also extremely lean. Whenever a hospital needed blood, they would send a simple WhatsApp message with details, and the blood packet would be loaded onto the drone. It takes off, reaches the destination, and drops the blood packet with a parachute made out of simple tissue. Isn't that amazing and simple? For today's conversation, I will focus on mobility and its possible applications which are frugal, which are accessible, simple, forward-looking, and more importantly, creates real impact. Fuel-based vehicles emit 4.6 metric tons of CO2 per year, and that is bad for humanity and planet. And especially for pristine islands like Sri Lanka, and transition to e-mobility is inevitable. But this technology is expensive to adopt, especially when we look back at what happened in this country in the last couple of years. Due to economic crisis, scores of people left the island for better pastures. There was less money in the hands of people because of currency depreciation. This problem amplifies when we talk about countries' ability to keep on investing in infrastructure. So is there a solution or an idea available which can make electric mobility affordable, reduces rider downtime, promotes true sustainability, and also keeps in human side in mind? Yes, absolutely, there is, with an element of frugality. One of the main reasons why electric vehicles are expensive is because of the cost of the battery. The battery performs the same function as the fuel in a normal vehicle, that is to power the engine or the motor. But when you buy a normal fuel-based vehicle, you don't buy fuel upfront for the period of the ownership of the vehicle. In the same analogy, when you buy a vehicle which is electric, you should not buy a battery, but instead you should have an option of subscribing to a number of kilometers in a month and pay a fixed amount of fee. In this case, you don't buy a battery and reduce the cost of acquisition of electric vehicle by at least 60%, and hence improving affordability. We all saw large queues last year, waiting in lines to fill a simple fuel tank, which is the basic necessity. Given a choice, nobody wants to stand in a queue. Nobody wants to stand in a line to charge a battery for hours together. I keep on getting asked this question all the time. How long will it take to charge my battery? I say, how about 2 minutes? Really, 2 minutes? Yes, that's what it takes for you to go to a nearest battery swapping station to swap your old discharge battery and take a new battery up. It reduces rider downtime significantly. The animated picture which you see behind me shows exactly that. Whenever a battery runs out of juice, you get a simple message on your smart app. It takes you to the nearest battery swapping station, and you change your battery within 2 minutes and you go. It is less than the amount of time you take to fill your gas tank with fuel, which could be 5 minutes to hours depending upon availability. It is also exactly similar the way you change your gas cylinder at home. When it runs out in the kitchen, you go to a nearest gas cylinder change station, and then you go. Ideas like these have changed lives of millions of people in places like Taiwan, India, Africa. And it is going to change the way we think mobility in Sri Lanka as well. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if we can drive down the cost even further. One of the main reasons why battery swapping stations are expensive is because they have a charging function in it. Remove the charging function, make them only as smart lockers, and charge the battery somewhere else. You reduce the cost down by 80%. And the same cost saving can be passed on to build new infrastructure or pass on the benefit to the end user. In this simple example, possibilities are limitless. All we have to do is to rethink innovation and also keep human element in mind. I keep on speaking about human element. Why do I do that? Since this model is new, we have the luxury of hardwiring human element into a new technology so that we don't have to revisit this topic all over again like the way we do for other existing ideas. Alongside battery swapping stations, smart lockers, we can also create battery hosting houses. Simple people like you and me can offer their places to host these batteries. So any rider who runs out of juice, the smart app tells, go to this person's home, there's a charge battery over there, you can take the battery and go. This will improve the household income by at least $100 on a monthly basis. So now we see that the frugal technology and high tech exist side by side, and which can also have a human element. But now all this is fine. What about human capacity building? We have seen at least 300,000 people leaving this island in last 18 months' time due to greener pastures, leaving behind their wives, children, and their families. Can we bring these women into the workforce? Can they be the riders to join the gig economy workforce? Absolutely, they can, with the right training. There's another community which is highly ignored, which is LGBTQI community. For social or other stigmas, they are marginalized. They cannot join the workforce. So in this overall example, which I just shared with you, on the one hand, we improve affordability, we reduce rider downtime. On the other side, we increase workforce, we create micro entrepreneurs, we create a circular impact on the economy as a whole and on the GDP and the nation as well. Thank you very much.